Simran, what's going on?
Hi, hi. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Happy New Year.
That's so,
Till
so for context, we spoke in May.
May.
So if people
Yes.
want to check that video out, that was back in May. So this is going to be a little more off the cuff, and we are just going to hear what's been going on. I think one of the huge things when we talked was COVID hadn't really hit yet. It was like starting to. And so I think one of the things we really want to hit on is what's going on with COVID? What was the impact for you? What are you doing post-COVID? And then two, I just want to hear what's the update? You're the first official freelance talks round two. So everyone's pumped to hear, okay, what's been going on since May? So yeah, how's that sound?
So much has changed. So okay, COVID, see, has been a boon for the freelance industry, and hands down, we needed this revolution, this pandemic. So okay, I'm not saying that pandemic is a good thing, okay, but
Good
the
save.
freelance economy, the gig economy, whatever term that you call it, it really boosted this economy. And moreover, remote working, not only the freelance thing, but remote working, people now began to see that, okay, remote working was not just sitting on a beach and typing away on your laptop, but yeah, it included 1,000 other things and managing things, planning things, and also with your personal tasks, right? So that was on the live front. So yeah, people knew that what freelancing is about, and that more companies reached out to freelancers than ever, right? So 2020 was transformational for the freelancers. That was number one. And yeah, more same for me. It was, okay, again, transformational, because from July, we talked in May, from July, my business just rose up and up and up. And this January, so 6 months, this January has been my, till now, the best performing month. And all because of the conversations I had during all these months during the lockdown.
Gotcha.
So yeah, businesses were stuck up, but because we kept interacting, we kept talking, and because I was there present online building my brand, so yes, people remembered my name, and then my name came up again and again and again. And so yeah, here we are. I'm signing up clients who reached out to me in July, so finalizing now in Jan 2021.
Gotcha.
And what has changed? My hair has grown.
Good. Great. Lost control of it. That's
Yeah.
as per most of us. Did you learn to cut your own hair?
No, actually, no, I didn't touch my hair, because people rewatching my first video can see that this is much better now. So yeah, that has been a good change. Business front, okay, I'll just divide it into different sections. Business front, it has been good. So some months I had 5 or 6 clients simultaneously, and I was taking care of their social media, of their blog posts, and their emailers. Some months I only had 2 clients, but the graph was higher for 2 clients, the finance graph for me. So you see how much that was also because the requirements grew. So because more people were online and more people relied on the digital medium, so more people were reading content, they were consuming content. So be it video content, be it written content, be it any form of thing, mobiles, laptops, computers, everything grew, the digital world grew. So that is why these things grew, content grew, and people wanted more of it. That was one thing. Second thing, that people hated negative news. That was one of my core things, because if I had posted something negative on the negative side, so I knew that people were not really enjoying it. And when I posted something like really, okay, what works? Value-based content always works. And that has kept me sailing through before May, when I grew my LinkedIn following, personal branding. After May until now, that works. And I also started on Instagram after that,
So,
obviously.
so let's take a step back. So high level summary, right? It's how do you say it?
It's been crazy. It's
How,
been crazy.
yeah. Okay. Crazy is the right word. I was like, how do we say it's been good without acknowledging that it's a pandemic, because we don't want to say it's been good, right? But so business has boomed. Demand has, would you say, doubled since July?
Tripled.
Tripled. Holy shit. Okay. Business has tripled since July. I think one very interesting insight was more clients didn't necessarily mean more business, but rather you had the month of 2 clients that actually led to a higher revenue, which is fascinating. Now, what I kind of want to hear is, okay, what were the inputs? What were the drivers that led to this COVID sort of demand increase? Specifically, what had you been doing pre-COVID and during COVID that you think really led to being able to capitalize on this demand?
Okay. Pre-COVID or post-COVID, one thing was consistent on my side, that I was creating content continuously on LinkedIn. I was working on my personal branding continuously. So that really helped because, see, my name had already been in the market. Some clients were already there with working with me, but because people had some more free time now with them, so they were browsing more on LinkedIn. Yeah. So I capitalized on that time, and then I kept pushing out content so more people could see my post during that time. So that was one thing. Pre-COVID, post-COVID, digital mediums grew. I already told you. So that really helped, obviously. Other than that, okay, people using content grew. At the same time, people producing content grew. So while on LinkedIn, if there were 5,000 people, just a vague number, 5,000 people creating content, now there were 15,000 people creating content. So that also increased competition. That also meant that you also had to put in your A game, put in really, really, really valuable posts. So people would know that, okay, this is good and this is not good, right? Gotcha. So that changed. But throughout the thing, again, I'm repeating this, one thing stayed consistent is your consistency, my persistency of creating the post, creating value, and gotcha. Working on personal branding. And that's what I'll take people back to the first interview where we talked about personal branding, why it's powerful. So yeah, that is powerful and that would show you results.
So let's even take a step back further. I think one thing I didn't ask at first, which I totally should have, just to frame some context. So what's your 30-second elevator pitch? Like what is that 30-second value prop? And then what are those specific service offerings? Just so when people hear, you're posting across LinkedIn, you had a bunch of clients, your revenue tripled. Let's put some context behind what is actually tripling. So yeah, let's hear that 30-second elevator pitch. You ready? Okay. And by the way, just so people know, like there's been no prep. She had no idea at all what was going to happen. And I kind of didn't either. So you have a mulligan. I'll give you up to 37 seconds.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Hi, I'm Simran Doshi. You're a copywriter and content writer. I create content and copy that connects and converts. So those are the two most important things that you want with your copy, your words. And I can help you with website, with social media, with emails, and with blogs. So do you want anything? What do you want, actually?
Dope. That was perfect. That was less than 20 seconds. Oh, man. Now we have like 15 extra seconds in the elevator to talk about our day. And then to help me to further refine it, let's say I had $1,000. What specifically can you do with $1,000?
Okay. I can create a monthly content calendar for you. Number one, I can provide, monthly content calendar with 12 posts per month. And I can provide you 2 blog posts.
Gotcha. That was so awesome. Okay. So I almost want to cut out just that value prop and just that being able to label the outcomes. So now I want to get into
okay. I also worked with a Fortune 500 company during the lockdown.
Let's talk about that. So there's going to be 2 things I want to talk about. We're going to hit that, and then we're going to talk about what are the priorities for you in 2021, and what do you think freelancers should be focused on in a post-COVID world? So first thing, let's talk about that large company.
Okay. They reached out to me through LinkedIn. I cannot stress this enough.
Who did?
The HR of that company reached out to me on LinkedIn and said that, hey, Simran, we need a content writer. We have a requirement. Can you do it for us? So I said, sure, let's talk it. At that moment, I didn't know, okay, I'll be honest, I didn't know that company was so big, but okay, I approached them like any other client, and it worked out well. Okay, what worked was I didn't wear a mask. I didn't showcase something that I was not. So I was being my authentic self. I showcase what I am providing to every other client. So it doesn't mean that the company which is not a Fortune 500, you treat them differently. Like with the Fortune 500, your value, obviously you are providing value, so it should remain consistent, and that also forms a part of your brand, how you are providing your services and interacting with your prospects, with your clients, and what value you are proposing to them.
So that's incredible. And I think one thing I really want to call out, so just to summarize, so they found you on LinkedIn via one of your posts, and it was someone in HR, and they specifically needed, was it a copywriter?
Yes, copywriter and content writer.
Copywriter, okay.
Both.
And then in terms of why it worked, to summarize that, was you stayed authentic and you didn't necessarily change anything that you were already doing with your other clients. The reason I want to call that out is because from a client side, we can sniff the bullshit. What we mean by that is if it's your first time, we are going to sniff that out ASAP. And everything from what questions do you ask? If you're too flexible, right? If you're like, I can do this.
Exactly.
I think that's one of the most important things for freelancers to understand with clients is the person that's hiring you, if they're coming in a large company, there's someone above them that is going to fire them if they made the wrong hire. And making the wrong hire doesn't mean you did a mediocre job. Making the wrong hire means that there was no proof that the person above them would have done the same thing. This is the classic, like,
exactly.
You never get fired for hiring Accenture. So I love that you called out. I did not even frame you or bias you or anchor you with that. But you called out the most important part when working with large companies is that, sorry, large company, you're not special. I'm going to be very authentic with you. And like you mentioned, take the mask off. But guess what? This is not my first rodeo. And your boss would hire me just like you're going to hire me, and your boss would do the same damn thing as you would do because I'm so damn good and I've done this so many times.
Yeah. And because every company is unique in its own way, right?
Yeah.
So every company, even if it's a startup or it's an established company like Fortune 500, they are doing something for the world. They are providing something for the world. So everyone is trying to make an impact in their own way. Yeah. So some have grown into a big company, but I always remember that someone started from a point, right? Yeah. So we have begun somewhere, we have reached somewhere. Yeah. So being somewhere higher than the other should not make that much of a difference. Yes, there is a difference. I won't deny that. Yeah. Because obviously everyone would love to work. Difference, okay, brand name.
They're going to say more money.
Just 2 words, brand name, their branding works. So, okay, if you tell someone that you have worked with IBM, if you have worked with Microsoft, right? Yeah. So they know that everyone knows that, okay, who Microsoft is, what they do, right? But if you just say some weird name, I won't name any, but okay, if you just name some company that no one knows beyond a country or a continent, then they would ask that, okay, what is this company about? What do they do? But you don't need to introduce Fortune 500s. They already have that established name. So when you are working with 500, what matters is you stay consistent on your quality. You stay consistent on your words, on the value proposition that you have told them that, okay, if you want me to deliver this, I am delivering this, as well as I'm adding something more to this. That's what they want. So they are busy people. Everyone is busy people. So when they're hiring someone to do the work for them, they want that person should deliver 100%, not only 100%, but should deliver 150%.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And you can't say it, but I'll say it for you. You can charge more with large companies when we would expect it. It was the Microsoft tax, and it's what you get. It's the premium for dealing with the bureaucracy, hierarchy, and needing a formal process. So, but I do not want to make you answer that. So let's go into sort of what to look forward to in 21. Specifically, what are you focused on with the lens of how other freelancers can be preparing their business as well? So what would you say are like the top 3 things that are going to lead you to both sustaining this success and growing more successful in 2021?
Sustaining and growing. Okay. 3 things. Number 1, work on my personal branding. Okay. I'm advising people. Okay.
No. Act as if you're not advising. No advice. Purely what you're going to do.
What I am doing for myself, work more on my personal branding. So that means if I am already posting on LinkedIn, I have started on Instagram, and I am trying to provide fresh content on Instagram, not repurposed content.
So becoming multi-channel too, I think.
Yeah. Number two is interact more with clients, and don't sell more, but propose more value. So if someone wants social media, you can propose to them blogs, because whoever is doing social media can also have some part to like some investment for the blogs as well, because they are already on digital medium. Blogs would work. So just catch the opportunity where you feel that the client can also do with this. That also includes that you improvise. So see, the clients usually do not know what is missing. So you are the expert. Propose value to them when they come to you for advice. They won't even know that, okay, their company requires blogs, but you know that, so you propose it to them, right? And okay, what the first thing was personal branding. First thing was personal branding. Second thing was value proposition. Third thing, people don't talk about it, is taking time off.
No, people do talk about it. We just don't do it.
No, I'll elaborate on it. So, okay.
My LinkedIn is filled with mental wellness. I feel like
okay. I should rephrase. I should rephrase it. People talk about it, but people don't execute it completely. So that is self-care and taking a break. So what I mean is, especially for the freelance universe, is say you are available round the clock. You can be available round the clock, right? And clients can reach you at 12. They can reach you at 6 in the morning. So set work boundaries for yourself. Work limited hours. So keep this intact. Okay, you have limited amount of energy. Use that energy and channelize it where you need to, and you do not need to be available constantly. So me, for example, I'm working for 6 to 7 hours for my clients. So I am working on my business for 10 hours, but for clients, I'm available for just 6 to 7 hours, right? So I have conveyed that on my email. I have conveyed that to any client that I talk to when I am doing a video call, or if I'm calling. I do not reply to my client mails on Sunday or Saturday. I have an autoresponder, and people love receiving my autoresponders. Just
which
saying.
we include some examples in the newsletter, and I think like those are the best. So like literally just Control-C, Control-V, and include your own little snippet. But
So So okay, that also put your own spin to it. So it does not needs to be I am out of office, I am unavailable on the weekends, please catch up on Monday. It does not needs to be that. Please understand, personal branding is wherever you go. Personal branding is personal. So wherever you go, your brand comes with you. Even if, and whatever you write online or on your emails, it stays, so that it all adds up, and that is adding on. So okay, you don't know whether your autoresponder, your customized autoresponder, might land you a client who needs an email just like that, right? So you never know where opportunities can strike, and that has also helped me, by the way.
You landed a client from it, didn't you? Didn't the client respond being like, "Oh, this is sweet. Let's work."
Yeah. Okay, so I stuck to my style. I usually stick to my style of writing. So clients are looking for that style because they read from word one to the last word, right? Yeah. So from hello or whatever salutation I write to just my signing off email, they read the complete thing. And two clients have actually come to me and told that we want a similar kind of style for our articles, for our emails. And I am doing that for them. I include GIFs, I include other stuff that most emails do not have. So, some writing these days is losing that human connect. The digital thing has become so much prevalent that people forget that you are not talking to a bot, but you're talking to a human. Some human is reading. And that is also the thing that anyone should remember when they're working for any company, even Fortune 500s. So if you are writing a mail to someone at Microsoft or someone at IBM, so you should know that there's a human who is reading your mail. And that is also the point why spam boxes, just why these things, robots or whatever you call it, they put your mail in the junk folder or the spam folder because they don't feel like it's a genuine mail.
Yep.
So, yeah. Pro tip there, customize your mails and add your style, add your touch to everything that you do.
You know what I would say actually? So from a leadership perspective, I would say you might not have time to customize your mails. So please hire Simran.
Yeah, hire me.
Yeah.
So hire a professional if you feel that you can't do it yourself, but you need that thing for yourself. Always do that.
So the three focuses are: first, for you would be personal branding. Second would be going deeper within existing accounts. Third, and going deeper within existing accounts, meaning controlling that value prop and going up the ladder. So starting with one thing and then turning that into more. Third thing, instead of saying wellness,
self-care.
No, I'm going to say screw that word, because that word's just like a blanket little term, but there's no actual action behind it.
Okay.
So I'm going to say set boundaries.
Set down yourself.
Right? Exactly. Set boundaries.
Okay. And a surprise fourth thing that just came into my mind.
Yeah.
Hire a team. Collaborate with people. What I have found when working with so many freelancers and myself also, after so many interactions, that people stop taking work after like limit has reached. So if they are full for 5 clients, they are like, no, we are done for the month, even if it's 10th of the month.
Yeah.
So that hurts your business, because you never know when a client might come, and he or she might be $1,000 client in itself, right?
Yeah.
So hire a team, and everyone has their own strong points. Tap onto that. For that, you have to transition yourself from being just a freelancer into an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right. So you're leading a team, managing so many things, and get people working with you. You also create so many jobs like this.
Yeah. How do you, so let's get into, because literally if this was a software program, we could have 4 different boxes and we could click each box and then dive into each, and it would be its own talk. But let's grill into the fourth one of the team aspect, because I mean, both of us, I think I've experienced this, where at least every second freelancer that we talk to, that's the number one question, is how do I start to create remote teams, especially as remote work becomes more prevalent. Larger clients are coming in the game. Larger clients need teams. They can't have just one individual freelancer. So that's like the number one thing we're hearing is, how do I create my remote distributed teams? I would argue a team / a collective / an elastic network, they're all basically the same thing, but really it's how do you get your 15 to 50 trusted freelancers that you're going to either team up with or refer work back and forth to, or just send incredible dog gifts. That also counts as a collaboration. But so let's get into your team building. Why are you doing it? And then second, how are you doing it?
Okay. I will take back to you the first point. That is personal branding. How do you build your community, your elastic team, your remote workforce? Yeah. Personal branding. Grow your name, because it's not just the clients who read your posts. It's also other people in the same field who are reading your posts, who are gaining knowledge from them. Leverage that. I did the same for myself, and just like come out with a form and ask them that if you want to work with me, just fill this form and I'll contact when there's a suitable opportunity, right? So that's one thing. Why am I doing this? I love working. I love my clients. I love writing, and I love people. So, and one of my weaknesses, you can say that I cannot say no to any client if they need something. And if I can do that, so I'll say, okay, let me look into this. And yeah, I am a human, which I forgot sometimes. So I cannot do everything on my own. So I hire people. I team up with people. I don't like the word hire, actually. I team up with people. I work with people. I don't make them work for me, right? So
can we find a new word for that, please? I totally agree with you with the hire. Maybe we call it like team up with payment or
collaborate.
With payment.
Collaborate.
Paid collaboration. Because I know you ain't doing it for free. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I also pay my teammates for the trials that they do. So I don't take free trials.
Yep. That's the first thing that we totally jammed over was no free work. And so
no free work.
Yeah. So, okay. So this form, you snuck that in there. Tell us about it. So you were, you had a bunch of people, both clients and fellow freelancers, being like, hey, Simran, I really want to work with you. I love the work you're doing. And then instead of just having a bunch of people in your email or LinkedIn that you forgot about, you created this forum. So tell us about the forum. Where was it hosted? What did it look like? What were some of the questions? What did you do after? But yeah, let's hear about the forum.
I came out with the form in April 2019 and next in October or November 2019, 2020. Wait. I'm messing up the dates. Okay, I came up with the form in April 2020. That's when the lockdown began. And then next one in October or November 2020. Because, okay, April form was purely so that people come and then I have a look at their skill set and everything. For that, I received around 360 registrations. So that was one within 3 or 5 days. So I closed the form after 5 days. That was one. And in November, October, November, I came out with another form, the same similar form, because there were so much workforce which had come to LinkedIn during lockdown. So I didn't want to miss out on that. So while I already had the database of writers, I also chose to create a new database with new writers and new talent that was coming on board. So that was the reason that I came up with the second form. And people had actually reached out to me that we had filled your previous form. So should we fill it up right now? So can you believe after 6 months, people still remembered my form?
Of course. I still remember it. Come on.
Oh, thanks. So where did I host it? A simple Google form. How did I brand it? In April, my brand color was orange. So I branded it in the orange theme. I changed my branding, changed it to red now, which is available everywhere on my social media, my website.
Red means power. I know why you made it red.
And I love red. Everything is red around me.
So, and what were some of the questions? Because I know it was, how many questions? It was 5 questions in total, right? I remember.
No, 25.
6? 25? Oh, okay. I totally forgot about that. Really? Okay. Well, give us a lowdown on some of the questions.
Okay, there were the general questions that about do you write website, do you write social media, do you write blogs, and then fees for the same. That was done for 12 questions or so: name, email, phone number, etc.
Okay.
For the rest of the questions, the 10 questions, I asked them their favorite book, their favorite author, their favorite movie, why did they want to work with me, why not anyone else, and any message that they had for me, any special message if they wanted to type in. So yeah, I was really interested in what movies they like to watch. Besides that, I would get a large set of recommendations, but
that's what you were really doing it for. You were just bored and you wanted movie recommendations.
No. There was a reason behind it.
Kidding.
And I still ask when I talk to people or when I talk to my teammates during a call, what are they watching right now? Because this really helps in understanding their psychology, why they like something, what kind of topics can I give it to them, what kind of references can I use with them. So if they watched Sherlock the series, so I can use what Ben Cumberbatch's dialogues, I can use John Watson's dialogue with them, and they would be pumped up. Let's do this, Simran. Yeah. Right. And that's the energy I want with my teammates. And that's the energy I try to create when we are working together.
So I got a couple questions. You ready? First question. Out of the 300, right? There's no way that you could work with all of them. So without asking you a percentage of people that you can actually work with, instead, I think what's interesting is what drove the people that you could work with. And then what did you do with those that you didn't have work for right now, but wanted to maintain a relationship with?
Okay. What made me select a certain number of people were their answers, that they actually took out time to fill in a long list of movies or why they liked a certain writer, or even tell me their weaknesses, why they were doing what they were doing, what they couldn't do. Some of them actually shared that. And I was really blown away by their honesty, that what they are sharing some things with a stranger. And and the most important thing, people who had completed the forms have been highlighted on that sheet that I have. Because see, filling in 25 questions is not an easy task. It requires 15 minutes. And that too, they were subjective answers. You didn't have multiple choices.
Yep. Yep.
So I knew that, okay, if someone is not taking out time to fill the complete form, then I got an idea that they might not be dedicated enough.
Yeah.
And those who really care to work with me, then they would care to fill up that form as well. So that was one factor that helped me decide the writers who I worked with. To whom those were rejected, I sent them an email personally that, hey, XYZ, I received your entry, but I'm sorry you couldn't make the cut, but keep upskilling yourself. Like I wrote a short message from my side that you can do this and don't lose hope and keep upskilling, and let's stay connected on LinkedIn. So something like that. Yeah.
And so what did you do with those that you, so those that you did want to work with? Now, did you have like a shared Slack channel? Did you create a shared WhatsApp group? Did you just keep communicating through email? Yeah. What'd you do?
Emails and WhatsApp, personal,
And
not
WhatsApp.
Even a group.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there were, so I communicated there. So we had a short conversation about their fees and everything and what niche they're comfortable in. Again, personally. So they had filled up the form, but I again asked them personally that, are you fine with this? Can you do this? And how would your process be? Right. Yeah. Those were the things that we asked. And after we finalized, then I'd said them that, okay, if there will be anything that comes up, because I really like your skill set, if there'll be anything that comes up, I'll just mail it to you. So that was one thing. I connected with them on WhatsApp and just like kept checking on them, even if I didn't have enough work to pass on.
Okay. Did they ever send you work, or was it a one-sided?
No, just one-sided.
One-sided. Okay. And these people, I mean, were you looking for people that you could delegate to? Were you looking for people that you could collaborate with, meaning like a designer or a developer? What was the profiles that you were creating in your network?
Both actually. I was also looking for delegation, and I was also looking for collaborators. So for delegation, content writers and copywriters.
Yeah.
And for the collaborators, I was mainly looking for video people and graphic team or graphic person, and third was social media managers.
Okay. If you could describe in like one sentence what it feels like to have.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry to cut you in. There was one point that I missed. So even though I was delegating work, it did not mean that I was like tension free or I didn't have any stress about the work, because anything that was coming to me, even though delegated, I sat down for a good 1 hour or 2 hours. If I had to rewrite it, I would do it from my end, and then only the work would go out to the client. So it did not mean in any way that if I had someone else write for any client, that means I am out of the picture. I was very much involved. I was very much there to clear out any queries that they have, and even rewrite the complete thing if need be.
So you still own
the work that was reaching to the client was at par with the quality that I promised them to deliver.
Gotcha.
So the value proposition was there. It was intact, and I hope to continue it and increase it, obviously, in the future.
What do you think are the most common things? We'll start with pain, then we'll get into the sexy fun, like one sentence of how, of how powerful it is when you have a network of collaborators. But let's start with the pain. Like, what are some of the things that went off the rails when you're not doing things yourself?
There's a lot that I learned as a business person. So, okay, the first collaboration and now whatever number of collaboration that I am in, there's a whole lot of difference in how we are interacting. So first, just a vague example. First time when I sent someone an article, I just sent them the topic and the word count. I didn't ask them the delivery date. I didn't tell them the delivery date. And that was my mistake, because I was not a perfect client for them, if I am to use that word. So, things didn't go as I had planned, because my writing style. You have read my mails and everything. And everyone didn't have that, because they had worked with a strict corporate culture people, or they didn't do that sort of writing. So it took a lot of hit and trial to just test out writers, and for different mediums. So someone who is a good blog writer may not do so well in a social media post. Sorting them out, doing trials was a long process. But I now have a team of five writers who I am delegating work to
Gotcha.
regularly, not even like on and off, but regularly.
Gotcha. So the number one thing you would say from a teaming up perspective was the culture differences.
Sorry?
Would you say the number one thing that things would go off the rails for was the cultural differences?
No. Communication.
Okay. Communication. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because another thing I also discovered is people were not as free when working with someone new. So even if they knew me from LinkedIn, still they had their own apprehensions that I cannot ask this to her. Would she think that I'm foolish? That I don't understand this simple thing? So it took a lot many phone calls to just tell them that it's fine. If you even want to ask me one question, just message me. And if I don't reply within half an hour, call me. Anywhere I am, I'll pick up your call.
Gotcha. So So it was a little bit of the informal norms related to communication. For example, like, can I email you questions? Gotcha. So now,
and I also changed one thing in them. They some of them first used to ask me that, can I ask you something? I told them that don't ask me that, can you ask me? Just ask me directly.
Yeah. Gotcha. So, okay. So we have, we were going to say?
No, continue.
So we have the pain. So at a high level summary, I think from the whole conversation so far, impact of COVID has been your revenue has tripled. One interesting insight was that just because there's more clients doesn't necessarily mean that there's more money. For example, 1 month you had 2 and you had more money than when you had 5, right?
Yeah. Can I tell you an interesting insight? So 1 month I had a prospect coming in every day of the month. So I had 35 prospects in a month. Every day on an average, I had one person to me asking for my services. But guess how many?
How many you accepted?
Not accepted, closed.
Oh.
So because some ghosted me. 35 were approaching, but most of them ghosted me.
Conversion percentage. I'm saying you converted around 5 to 10%. So I'm saying you converted around. Yeah. Typical. Yeah. And that's why your second priority of growing existing accounts is so crucial, because you cut down that conversion percentage of only like 5% when you have your existing accounts.
And those clients have stayed with me.
Yeah.
So it's not like a one-time work. Some are one-time. I won't say no to that, but clients have stayed with me.
Yeah.
One of the clients who had approached me in 2019 for just one assignment was a company brochure. The client is from Qatar, and he keeps coming back to me again and again that, okay, Simran, we need a social media post right now. Just do it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of relationship that we have developed professionally, that he can message me or call me anytime that, okay, we need to get this thing done. So can you do this?
Yeah. It's being able to work with existing clients is the coolest thing I think about the freelance economy. I always like to say the project ends, but the relationship never does. And so whether it's the freelancers I've collaborated with, clients I've worked with, it just only grows more.
Yeah, people have this myth in their heads that you can't form professional relationships when you are freelancing or when you're working remotely. But no, bullshit. That completely depends on you as a person, as anyone like who is communicating, right? Yeah. That you should have that those words or that feeling inside you that, okay, you need to form this connection, even if it's one time, even if it's a continuous relationship. You should leave them with something that they can count on to. And the number one thing every single one counts on to, even animals, is kindness. Be kind.
Yep. So I think the last thing I want to talk about is I want to discuss some of the mindset that you have, and the mindset, right? Because I think one thing COVID has amplified is that the mindset that freelancers need has become a kind of like, it's nice if you have this mindset, to now you absolutely need to have this mindset in a post-COVID world. And I think the one that you're hitting on that is, to make it explicit, is the mindset going from transactional to relationship driven. And I think the sort of underneath this, what's happening is that, freelancing or gigging or whatever you want to call it, the gig economy, and traditionally the freelance platforms or marketplaces were built off of transactions. So it was hey, you do this one piece of work, you do it for this cost, for this time.
Side
Side
hustle, pocket
hustle.
money culture.
Yeah, I mean, I would call it the bullshit Tim Ferriss thing, where it's like, hey, I delegate all my stuff.
I
It's
know, right?
bullshit. Ugh. But it's transitioning to more of a listen. We need to get these complex outcomes done. Meaning, we don't need just an article. We need to increase our awareness bucket by 300% in the next 6 months, and that requires a relationship mindset where there's incremental changes along the way that you can't just always scope for. And because you can't scope for it, it's more than just a transaction. But
Exactly,
the high
exactly.
level
Okay,
is,
okay.
right,
No,
from
adding
gig
on
to
to this,
relationship. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And adding on to this point is another point that I have already mentioned is that you need to identify those scopes, those little pockets of opportunities that come through.
Yeah.
The client doesn't know. You
Yeah.
have to do the work for them.
So teach us about that. So let's teach us about these pockets of value that go beyond, because I do think within freelancing, right, there's like 3 different stages. There's like getting the work, crushing the work, and then follow up growing more work. And I think getting the work is where you nailed your elevator pitch, and you didn't say I can do the world for you. You said I can do this very specific 1 to 2 things so that we can get working as easily as possible. But now you're in the execution phase and you crushed it, whether you're doing it or the freelancer. And now what we're discussing is that 3rd phase where we've done the project, the client loved it. How do we grow this account? And you've mentioned the pockets of value to look for. But so how do you grow your accounts?
It's not actually only the 3rd phase. You keep identifying it throughout all the 3 phases.
Okay.
So the 1st phase, when the client approaches you, you see what they require. You take out time to study their website, their resources, their social media channels, their blogs, their everything that they have online. So you study their online personality, right? And that's the work that you are putting in. Why client
Do
will be
you do
interested.
that for every client?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I personally haven't. I personally would expect them to start working, but it depends on the type of client you have.
No, actually. So if I am getting on a call with someone and if they want me to send a proposal to them, it's not just a 5-minute task.
Okay.
I don't just like you said, it's not transactional. It's professional. It's relationship building, right?
Yeah, but that first project usually is at least in my, and especially in large companies, that first project is fairly transactional in terms of you do a very small piece of work and you do it really good to build the trust. But then once you earn the trust, that's when you go nuts with being able to do the research.
Exactly. Yeah. So okay, even though it is transactional for the company, you are not approaching it as a transactional, because the moment that you approach that work as transactional, that's where you lose it, right?
Gotcha.
It's just for money. You don't work for anything else. But if from the first point, if you're working to create a relationship with your client, right? So even if it's Myntra or Microsoft, any company it might be, if you are working to create a relationship, even if it's just for 1 project, even if it's just 2 small posts, that person, that client would remember you. And if they hear content, if they hear anything related to you, anything related to what you did for them, so what you should aim for is that they should be reminded of your name.
Gotcha.
So, right. So that's one thing about the mindset. Everything is in the mind, and okay, it takes time. It takes time.
Yeah. How long? Most of your clients,
I
how long does
can't,
it take? Yeah.
I can't quantify it. Yeah. Because I have had my own personal experiences that has shaped my mindset significantly.
Yeah.
And like those have been testing times, which that made me who I am today. That phase. And most of the people who follow me on LinkedIn know about that. Okay. So that phase of my life really shaped me as a person. Who I am really shaped my values, really instilled some things in me. So today, if I'm talking about kindness, today, if I'm talking about building relationships, it's coming from some place that is not just built on money. That's why my business is just not based on money. Yeah. Money is an important aspect because you need money if you are running a business, but there are also other pillars of your business.
Gotcha.
So mindset, you have to do it on your own. You have to become conscious of it, if I'm to use that word correctly. because that one word consciousness has so many things attached to it. I'm sorry to take this in a bit philosophical way or a spiritual
Getting all
way.
meta. I love it. I'm going to get a yoga mat out and I'm going to put some incense on and some what's it, Enya? The Who Can Say? I'm going to put that song on. You can spew. No, you have 2 minutes.
Or some Indian classical music. That really helps.
You name it. And if it's Garba, then I will put on the outfit and we will dance around the
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Listen, you have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to give us the spiritual, and we're calling it spiritual, half joking because it's a crucial within, growing a business. This is way more than just, hey, I'm making some money. That's consistent across all freelancers. There's very few freelancers I meet that they're just like, I just want to make a bunch of money. Nah, that's not the case. If that's the case, go work on Wall Street. But yeah, so let's hear that 2 minute wisdom.
2 minute wisdom. Lot to push in here. Okay. Have a positive mindset about money, about clients, about the work that you are doing. That's like 20-second wisdom. That sums up everything.
That's it?
Have a positive mindset.
40 left. Sweet.
Have a positive mindset about money, because if you're not in a good position with money, you would always be running behind money.
Gotcha.
So have that satisfaction if we are to continue the spiritual talk.
Gotcha.
Have a good relationship with the clients. And if you are not liking something, convey that to the client in good words. So if a client is messaging you at 11 at night, tell them the next day that, sorry, I'm not available at that time. These are my work hours. So let's communicate during these hours. And you can expect a reply from me during this and this time. And have a good relationship with your work. That is the key to niche, to selecting your niche. Why?
Gotcha.
Because if you're writing something, I'm a writer. So if I am writing something which I'm not enjoying, I'm not going to deliver it 100%. But gotcha. if I'm writing it, if I'm enjoying it, I'm loving it. So I will put in 200% into that, and the client would see that result, see that in the result, right? That this person has really put in efforts. This person has really put in their passion in this, and that's what it reflects in your work, basically. So that's the mindset. Keep a positive mindset for money, for clients, and for your work, most important, and for yourself, obviously. Don't beat yourself down if you fail to deliver. Sometimes it happens.
So the last sentence was the last question was going to be, what is the one overarching theme you want freelancers to know, in post 2021 or post COVID? And I'm not even going to ask the question because you answered it. And I think the answer is have a positive mindset. And I would go deeper and say, embrace relationships over transactions when it comes to your freelancers and the people that are your clients and the people that you're going to collaborate with. So instead, we're going to replace it with 2 fun questions. The first question is going to be, what is your favorite book, or what book are you most looking forward to read in 2021?
What book I'm looking to read?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can say nothing. You can be like, I just don't want to read.
No. I am a writer. Writers read. Writers are readers. I cannot say nothing. Okay. There's one book that I have had since 2010. That is 2010, and I still haven't read it. I've Apple's Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. So that is a book that I own from 2010. I still haven't read it. I have read pages of it. I've read bits of it. I haven't completed it. So I plan to read it this year. I plan to finish it. I plan to finish it this year. So that's one book that I want to read.
So I read that, I think 5 years ago. And here's my one takeaway.
I read it every day. Like every year. Sorry, not every day. I read it every year. I read a few pages here and there. I just open up the book and read a line. That's how I read books, mostly. So,
I think you know which one you like better. So my one takeaway with the Steve Jobs
one line that I really liked about that, from a few lines that I have read from the book, is just a second, let me recollect it. Okay, it is just 3 words, like Apple, minimalist, 3 words. I don't know what. Abandoned, chosen, special.
Abandoned, chosen, something.
Chosen, special.
Abandoned, chosen, special. What does it mean?
Abandoned. Jobs was abandoned by the parents. He thought that he was chosen for for whatever
Yeah.
reason. He was chosen by God
Yeah.
for whatever purpose that he needed to fulfill, and that he was indeed special and that he could achieve special things. So abandoned, chosen, special. And that also takes us back to the mindset thing.
Yeah.
Even if something negative has happened in your life,
Yeah.
just focus on the positive, well, like look at it in a positive way. And I'll just inject my favorite movies quote here. Kung Fu Panda. People know my love for
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda.
Yep.
So yeah, so your story is not defined by how it started, but look where you are now. Look how things changed, and look how things turned up right now. It's who you are that makes all the difference.
It's who you are. I like that. It's who you are that makes all the difference. Can we add to the Steve Jobs though? What was it? Abandoned, chosen, special. Can we add the fact that he didn't shower for like a full year when he worked at Atari, and had to work the night shift and no one was there?
And see, that was one of his tactics. So people disturbed him. He couldn't sense like someone is calling, Steve, come here, like get this done. So he chose a way for himself, and then there he was, chosen night shifts were. So to work and work with focus, work with passion. And he created an awesome game out of it.
Fact. Yeah, that is very true.
Okay. Interjecting here, he identified the opportunity for the game. So he hired someone, Steve Wozniak, to make the game for him, and he presented it to Atari. Right. So he identified that pocket of opportunity which he knew was missing from that super game company.
Deeper question: who is the hero, Woz or Jobs?
Jobs. Do you know why?
I'll fight to the death to say Woz.
No, people would hate me for it.
What?
Not many people see it, but even in my space, those who are creating content do not have the limelight. Those who are marketing content are the real heroes. So Steve Jobs marketed what was essentially just opportunities. He created that object from the opportunity. So people don't look for opportunities, they look for objects, the real thing.
I will fight to the death about Woz being the hero, but that's okay. We will, that'll be episode 3 will be Simran and I duking it out about who's more valuable. Yeah, who's more valuable to society? The one who packages it up, makes it sound good, or the one that actually builds it? And I'm going to go with the actual builder, but that'll be episode.
See, I'm the builder. I'm the content creator. Still, I am going one with the packaging guy, because you have to make it look pretty for people to buy it. Your content can be the best in the world, but if no one reads it, it's good as you have written in a diary. Simple as that. You have just written it on your phone, right?
We all have iPhones. Mine has a Sloth Armstrong, but yes, we all. I know.
No one can read it. No one can read your content unless it's marketed, unless it's promoted, unless people see your content. And that's the marketing job. Creation is important, but you have to market a good creation.
Last question.
For it to become better and best.
Last question. What's a movie everyone should watch in 2021? Or that you're looking forward to?
Kung Fu Panda, please. Again, watch it.
I knew that was coming.
Watch it.
Simran, a blast as always. Episode 3, you and I are going to duke it out over Jobs and Woz. Woz is going to be the finisher. But that's okay. Blast as always. Thanks for coming on, Simran.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk with you, Matt. Thank you for having me.